Okay, so good afternoon or good day to our grade 12 students for our discussion. We're going to continue our English investigation and immersion discussion part 3. So, okay, let's proceed. Since we're already done with our discussion regarding the fundamentals of the research or the thesis paper, of course, we have there the variables, including the dependent and independent variables, and how are we going to differentiate that and identify it in making a research title. Now, for our research title, okay, let me ask you, class, what is research title? Okay, research title is the problem itself. Okay, so what are okay, what are the things or how are you going to make a research title? Of course, first we have here, you have to identify first the course and specialization. Okay, so you have here the course and specialization. Of course, um, when especially when you're in college, it it depends on your interest. Okay, it depends on your interest. If you are a education student, of course your focus should be on students. Okay, do not create any research title that is out of the box or out of your course or specialization. Okay. Second, we have here observe and perceive problems. Of course, when you are going to construct a research title, it should be according to your observation or the most demand um, problem that we are facing, especially on your own encounters. It could be in your own barangay, it could be in your own place, it could be in the Philippines. But make sure it should be easy for you. Okay? We have also here the research gap and the ways of getting process data. Of course, you have to assume we are going to make a title. Of course, you have to assume that you are processing those data in order for you to in order for your research title for you to be convenient. Okay, if that title needs to be to have a greater budget, if it needs greater budget, so if it requires a large scale or area for you to visit, for you to have your respondents. So because that's why it's important for you to have your ways of getting or processing data. Okay, next is the respondents. You have also to to assume these respondents when you're going to make a research title. You have to consider this ahead of the time, ahead of the day, and of course, in a research proposal, it is a compulsory for you to have your respondents. Okay, so that when the panel asks you something, of course, you already have a complete example on your respondents. Okay. Next is setting. What do you think is setting? Setting is where it is the area where you're going to conduct your research or research process, okay, or your thesis. This is the area or the venue where you're going to conduct a study or your respondents are located, okay? And we have also here the contributions, okay? So this should be the ingredients on making a research title. Okay, next, we have also here the characteristics on making a research. Okay, so class, what are the characteristics of making a research? First, we have here engaging. Okay, so we have to engage the interest of the reader in making a research title. So, hindi dapat na gagawa ka na lang ng research title just because it's a requirement of the teacher or a requirement of the school. But it is also important to consider the interests of the readers. That's why dapat kung pipili kayo ng mga research title or yung mga problema, dapat ito ay napapanahon. or timely and relevant. Kasi if it's timely and relevant, everybody will understand and the panel will interest your work. Okay, next is succinct. Now, class, what do you mean by succinct? Okay, in making a research title, it should be succinct. What's the implication of that? Direct to the point. There should be no, saman, there should be no flowering words. Okay. Wala dapat mga flowering words. Bakit? Kasi limit lang yung ating numbers of words. Okay. And that's number 3. The research title with essential words only. It is around 5 to 15. Well, actually, um, some of the professors consider 5 to 15. Of course, this is the foundation. 5 to 15 only. 5 to 15 words only. However, if the words or if the title consists of more than 15 and it is considered and approved by your professor, then it will be okay. It will be fine. Now, why we have to limit the words in making a research title? It's because the point here is you have already in qualitative research, you have there in qualitative or your research site, and you have there the dependent and independent variables. It should be present, of course, and also the setting where you're going to conduct your study. However, if you think that the sentence is not enough, well, that's okay because you have also in your paper the scope and the limitation. Okay? So kapag feeling nyo kulang yung kapag ni-require kayo ng professor nyo na it should be around 5 to 15, well, you have to explain that the rest of the words can be found also in your scope and the limitation. Okay? Kasi nakikita din natin doon. Nakikita kung saan i-conduct yung study, anong year, ano yung time frame mo sa paggawa mo ng research paper. Okay. Next, of course, it should be grammatically correct. Anywhere you go, when you're going, if it's about English, of course, we have to follow the standard. We have here the grammatically correct. Of course, research paper man na. So, dapat dili kita mag-elementary. Next, seldom uses of abbreviation. Now, what do you mean by seldom uses of abbreviation? It is implied here, class, na hindi bawal ang gumamit ng abbreviation. However, you have to be observant and you have to be smart when and how to use abbreviation, especially when there are abbreviations that are similar towards each other. Kailangan gumamit kayo ng mga abbreviations na bukod tangi. Like for example, DepEd. Okay? DepEd or Department of Education. There are no other abbreviations other than DepEd. Wala nang iba pa. Okay? So, yun lang ang para sa characteristics of our characteristics of making a research title. Next. Okay. When you're going to have your format and research paper class, of course, you have there the topic. Second is the scope. No? So when you're going to make a research title, your dependent and independent variable or your topic should be there and your scope kung saan ka magkakandak ng study. Okay? It's okay if you're not going to include the school as long as it is indicated there, the students. Kasi makikita naman natin sa scope and the limitation ang kung saan ikakandak yung study. Next, we have here the method. Well, rarely. The method is rarely implied in a research title. For example, if it's quantitative or qualitative, a quantitative study of this and that, a qualitative study of this and that, sometimes those terminologies are eliminated on that part of sentence because it is also it is already understandable in making a research title if it's qualitative or quantitative. Okay, since we are limiting our research title, we are limiting words with our research title, so we have to be particular with that. Okay. So I have here some examples, class, of a research title. Okay, can we read this? Effects of online teaching strategies to the oral communication skills development of BAELS freshmen. So let's count the words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is an acronym na 15. Okay. So BA means Bachelor of Arts, and then ELS means English Language Students Freshman. Okay, so 15 words. Okay, so it's okay to use acronyms as long as bukod tangi gives siya, no? Next, another title. We also have here the impacts of teachers' feedbacks on second year college students' listening performance. Now, if we're going to locate here the dependent and independent variables. Now, how are you going to identify those things or those words? Okay, nasan ba dito yung dependent and independent variable? Now, according to my video discussion, part 2, before, so it was indicated there the on how are you going to identify the dependent and independent variables. Of course, the independent variables takes place first. Okay, so we have here the impact of teachers' feedback. Okay, ano ba yung impact ng teachers' feedback? Kasi yung kapag sinabi natin independent variable class, ito yung ano ba? Ito yung dahilan or cause. Okay? Impact of teachers' feedback. Ito yung cause. Now, ano na ba yung effect? Okay? The effect here is, okay, which is our dependent variable, the students' listening performance. Paano ba naka-apekto yung impact of teachers' feedbacks sa listening performance ng mga estudyante? So, yan ang ating effect. And remember, the independent variables cannot change. It's the dependent variable that is being influenced by the independent variable for the dependent variable or the DV to change. Okay. Next, we have also another example here of a title. For example, factors affecting the learning styles in English of the grade 12 students in Informatic Computer Institute of Agusto del Sur, for example, or ICI. Okay. Now, the factors affecting the learning styles in English of grade 12 students in ICI. So, pwede na po siya, dili na natin siya i-include ang kaning school. Pwede na siya di siya include. Because, actually, depende na siya sa professors. Like, for example, if your professor will require you to write the name of the school, even if it exceeds the 15 limit words, that'll be fine. But our standard or the basis or the foundation of on constructing sentence in making a research title, the basis of that is 5 to 15. So that's the limit. Okay, now let's proceed. Does the reduced gaming time make learners perform better? Okay. Now, class, as I have indicated or as I have said earlier that was indicated on the screen, we have here the qualitative study or the qualitative. This terminology is a method, but sometimes it is disregarded in making a research title because pwede na siya nga wala. Pwede na siya dito a study of learning strategies among BA Political Science freshmen. Pwede na po siya na but as much as possible, you have to be succinct. It's not necessary to put that, but your professor will not deprive in putting that word there. Depende na lang sa inyong professor, okay? If it is approved, that will be fine. But if it's not, well, we have to change it, okay? So now, since this sentence, or let's say this research title is a little bit confusing, does reduced gaming time make learners perform better? A qualitative study of learning strategies among BA political science freshmen. Okay, you know, based on the construction of this research science, it's a little bit confusing. Now, let's revise this title. Okay, this is better. Does reduced gaming time benefit learners academically? The learning strategies of BA political science freshmen. Okay, this revision of the research title is more or is clearer. Okay, it is more understandable because of how it is constructed. Okay, and kung mag-base ta diri medyo confusing yun siya kaning part, but this one it's very understandable and easy. Next. Okay, now here are the advices when you are going to conduct a research or especially in making a research proposal or test proposal or creating the whole research. Okay, unang-una, huwag isiping mahirap. Okay, huwag isiping mahirap ang research kasi if you will think that way, it will influence your thinking, your mindset. Okay, huwag isiping mahirap. Pangalawa, know what you like to work on. Do not just scan or skimming and scanning on the internet or in any references just because for you to require to just because you are being required by your teacher or your instructor or your professor. No, you have to stick on your own interest. Okay? Kasi kapag it is based on your interest and then everything will go softly or let's say smoothly kasi it is based on your own interest and if it is based on your interest then it is more understandable, it's more easy and understandable on your own part. Okay, we have also here the browse relevant research, of course. um, Browse relevant research for you to at least have a gist or different ideas when you're going to make a research paper about the concepts, okay? Para po makagain ka another informations para madugag-dugag mo sa imong research paper. Next, write your draft. Ano ba yung draft? Okay, when you're going to, especially in brainstorming, you have to create a draft, okay? Put all the words that might be relevant in your study. So you have to write your draft, especially if it's individual, if it's an individual research paper, of course, you have to write your draft because sometimes when you write your draft, it will be easy for you to detect the error, especially in making a sentence, okay, and understanding it. Next, we have also here, be open to criticisms and suggestion, of course. That's why meron tayong tinatawag class na rereading, okay? Na pwede nating ipapabasa sa iba because there could be a possibility that there are some mistakes there that you have not recognized. So, kaya importante na ipapabasa din natin ito sa ibang tao, especially the professionals. Because I know that there will be some contributions that surely help you. Next, we have also here, be willing to adjust or improve. Okay. Be willing to adjust or improve. Dapat tatanggapin na mga criticism for you to improve. Huwag masyadong malaki ang tulong. Okay? You have to trust others and verify it with yourself. Next, we have also here, finalize with positive thought. Okay, finalize it with a positive thought because kailangan yan, especially in setting your mood. Because if your mood is positive, well, when you're going to make a research paper, it will be all right. Okay, and now we have here the guidelines, selected guidelines in formulation of research. Okay, so actually, this page is not important anymore because I have already discussed to you the fundamentals and the guidelines on how are you going to make a research title. Okay, so this is our discussion 3 for inquiries, investigation, and immersion, and I hope you understand a lot of things. And maybe you can try formulate with your own research title for you to continue other things in the near future. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye, class.